Most of people think it's hideous, repulsive, and gross. Actually, it's one of the most misunderstood foods. It has a lot of nicknames: century egg, 1,000-year-old egg, millennium egg. So what is it exactly? Today we are going to examine the history and mystery behind this peculiar food. So how old are century eggs? A century egg is not really 100 years old, more like a few months. It is actually a fermented duck egg that has been preserved in a mix of clay, ash, salt, and occasionally quicklime and rice hulls. The process of making century egg causes the yolk of the eggs to take on a creamy, cheese-like texture and transforms the whites into a dark-colored jelly. Century eggs also have snowflake patterns. These patterns are actually dendrites of various sorts. So what is the origin of these century eggs? Century eggs actually have existed for centuries, with their accidental discovery dating back to the Ming Dynasty, which is about 600 years ago. A resident of Hunan province accidentally discovered these duck eggs left in a pool of lime and decided to try them. So how to eat century eggs? The easiest way is to crack the egg, peel it, cut them into small chunks, and drizzle a bit of soy sauce on it and devour. Don't just bite it, it has a relatively strong flavor. In China, century egg is also a common cold dish that you can order as a starter in a lot of restaurants. And century eggs are also baked into pastries. Personally, I like cooking them with rice porridge to create century egg and lean pork congee. It's a comfort food for me. When I'm sick, this rice porridge helps me recover pretty quickly. So why Chinese like eating century eggs? The reason is pretty simple. It's delicious. Although it looks weird, it's actually very tasty. Getting beyond the egg's appearance is the biggest challenge. The texture and the ammonia-like smell are something to get used to. These jelly-like delicacies take on a less appetizing dark brown and swampy green hue. But the taste is really good, totally unexpected. The egg is surprisingly creamy, velvety, and succulent. If you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend it to you. If you have already tried it before, let me know in comments below what your thoughts are.